Ladies and gentlemen, weebs and waifus, welcome to Kyo World here on YouTube. And boy, am I excited to bring this video to you all today because, ladies and gents, I don't think you quite understand. I just don't think you do. That we are in the midst of some of the most peak fiction I personally have ever witnessed. And the crazy thing is, I think it's only going to get better. I feel this anime isn't getting the love and attention that it should be. Everything from the voice acting to the stellar animation to the tremendous storytelling. My Hero Academia, the final season, is quite simply clicking on all cylinders. And I know what you're probably thinking at home. Okay, Kyo, enough with the glaze already. And I get you being skeptical, but when I say that the first 3 episodes of the final season of My Hero are just absolutely special, spectacular, and superb, I mean that. I wish I could say I haven't been ugly crying for the past 2 episodes. Truly, I do. But it would simply be a lie, because the fact of the matter is, I have been following this show, these characters, these storylines for the better part of a decade now. That's actually quite crazy to say aloud now that I think about it, but it's true. I mean, the first season of My Hero dropped, I believe, in 2018, so we're going on like 7-8 years of this show running now. And I have grown up and alongside the Dekus, the Shotos, and the Bakugos of the world, to the point where the attachment to these characters just continues to grow and get stronger. If you're anything like me, you start to feel like they're your own kids and you just want them to be safe and to also go plus ultra. So now, I will give you my Hero Academia final season review so far. But before I do, please make sure to United States of Smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. Alright, enough shilling. Let's get into the review, shall we? In episode 1, titled Toshinori Yagi, Rising Origin, All Might continues his hard-hitting battle against the rewinding All For One, pushing his armored suit to its limits. He uses the support items to attempt to lure All For One to a specific location, while making him overuse his quirks to rapidly increase the rewind effect, but the villain corners and retaliates, confident at being the one in control. All For One mocks him for being so weak, forced to rely on a suit that replicates his student's quirks, which he starts ripping apart, and that his life is about to be snuffed out in front of everyone on the cameras. All Might counters and claims that others will pick up from where he left off, and after pinning him down, unleashes a giant laser barrage onto him. Meanwhile, back at the Troy battlefield, the villain Kunieda has incapacitated almost all the heroes in the area, leaving only Aoyama able to face him. He takes Aoyama's support belt and derides him for being a traitor, but Aoyama declares his intention to keep following in the light of his classmates, and starts flashing his leaking naval laser. Unknown to Kunieda, Toru is invisible nearby and focuses the light of Aoyama's lasers to knock the villain out. As a result of Aoyama's power, Toru's invisibility starts to glitch and she becomes visible, and the two begin rescuing the heroes. All Might uses his remaining tools to keep All For One contained as long as possible until the laser overheats, with a child-sized glowing All For One emerging from the crater. Before he can fight back, his body suddenly freezes in place as Stain appears to aid All Might in the fight. In episode 2, The End of an Era and the Beginning, this is really where the ugly tears came out from me. After having tracked the two down, Stain and All Might charge at the paralyzed All For One. However, the villain uses several of his quirks to break free. Annoyed at his refusal to submit to him, All For One proceeds to kill Stain and take his quirk. Stain uses his last words to tell All Might to live on and succeed. All Might is about to be killed by another attack, but the last remnants of his armor sacrifice itself to save him. He sees hallucinations of Nana Shimura and Sir Night-Eye, pushing him to keep fighting. Now in range of UA, and Deku and Shigaraki's battle, All For One attempts to warp Shigaraki to him, but the villain forcibly rejects his former master's interference. Instead, All For One drags All Might towards UA, intending to kill him in front of everyone. With Deku unable to help, or else break the stalemate he has with Shigaraki. Resolved to end things his way, All Might prepares to activate a failsafe on the remaining piece of his suit to blow them both up, thinking about memories of his youth in the process. However, All for One destroys it and paralyzes All Might, gloating about his failure to defeat him. With Gentle and the American Jets unable to stop him, people around the world watch on in horror and despair as All for One gleefully begins to tear All Might's body in two. As Deku begs for anyone to save him, an explosion erupts from UA, from which a revived Bakugo emerges and glances down at an astonished Deku. Seeing Bakugo's revival broke me, okay? And I'm not afraid to say it. Just to see our boy alive and well filled me with such joy. And also we have to give a huge shout out to Hero Edgeshot for patching up our great explosion murder god Dynamite. Finally, in episode 3, the final boss, Bakugo blasts himself towards Deku, who proceeds to use Gear Shift and launch him at All Might. Shigaraki mocks he won't make it, noting the All Might vestige becoming clearer, indicating his impending death. Despite this, fueled by the hopes and prayers of everyone begging All Might to be saved, Bakugo blasts forward at insane speeds, ripping the former symbol of peace out of All for One's hands, saving his life and rewriting Sir Night-Eye's vision of his death. Landing on a nearby building, a thread-sized edge shot emerges from Bakugo's body, having used his quirk to repair his body from the inside, though also states it was his own explosive sweat that resuscitated him back to life. All Might gives Bakugo the last remnant of his armor, named after him, which gives him a smile. A furious All for One is about to go after them, but changes his mind to refocus on Shigaraki, only for Bakugo to appear before him, declaring himself the final boss. Shout out to The Rock. If you know, you know. While most of the battlefields are wrapping up with the heroes dealing with the villains, Shigaraki breaks free of Deku's restraints, as the latter uses Gear Shift for the last time, intending to end things now. All for One tries to ignore Bakugo and continues towards One for All, seeing the young hero as just another mere pebble, but thanks to understanding how his explosion quirk works, Bakugo is able to keep up with the villain. Increasingly infuriated, All for One keeps seeing flashes of the second user in Bakugo, the one he truly hates the most, accidentally calling him Kudo in outrage. Now, I don't know if it's because October is just a big month for anime and people are just focused on other shows like One Punch Man Season 3, which is back after a several-year hiatus, or the new Chainsaw Man movie dropping soon, etc. But all I ask is that we please don't forget about My Hero, because it continues to show you why it is worthy of being one of the new Gen Big 3 animes, alongside Demon Slayer and JJK of course. If you have made it to this point in the video, a huge arigato to you, and if you are new to the channel, please make sure to Detroit smash that subscribe button. It would be greatly appreciated. And in the meantime and in between time, sayonara.